What is up, gang? It's Deltia from DeltiasGaming.com on a different PC, but we're going to bring you something special today. That is going through how I level a brand new character. So it's been a long time since I leveled on the Elder Scrolls Online without having a million alts, all my crafting. So I'm going to show you 2 ways to level. This is going to be part 1, and part 1 is for those new players jumping in the game, don't have all the resources, friends to craft them stuff, you know, XP potions, all that sort of stuff. So what I'm going to do is hop on the Xbox EU server and start all over. I ain't got CP, crafters, nothing. I'm going to give you an idea of what I do to level really fast. Part 2 is for those people that do have all those resources and maybe have alts and just want to bring up a new character. As you know, update 13 homesteads come around the corner, but it's kind of one of those lull points where you don't want to make any builds in case things change. So I want to give you guys some content related to leveling up them characters, because you can see some of these new characters. Stamplar, it's going to be real fun to play. So if you want to bring one up, stay tuned, let's watch this video, have some fun, and learn how to level in ESO. I'll tell you why you playing on PS4 and Xbox EU. Well, I want to play on ENA too, but I want to level up these characters on every single server. Now, I'm not going to be able to be max CP, you know, tomorrow type thing, but it is a goal of mine because I want to play with different people and not just cater to PC market. So, you know, you guys have stuck with me. You know, you've really made my life a lot better. So hopefully I can make your guys' life a lot better and we can play together, do some cool events and stuff like that. I want to give back. So that's why I'm on Xbox EU today. Alright, so first thing you need to do when you're making a new character is make some hipster funny name type thing. So I'm going to go on Daggerfall Covenant here. I'm going to make an Argonian. And you know I'm rocking a Templar. That's just my thing. So Argonians are one of my favorite look, lore, and the passives are really strong right now for tanking, for healing, and just like PvP. So it's like an all-around good character. No, I'm not going to set the world on fire with DPS, but you know, if you're trying to beat VMA and just do some basic dungeons, you'll do just fine. So for me, I love my little Argonian, so I'm going to pick this guy. Alright, I got my Deltia Force on, Delta Force, shout out to them boys. And yeah, we're going to make this guy, Xbox EU. We got nothing left, nothing. So if it's your very, very first time playing through, I guess I had some EU characters that transferred over. You're going to have to do the tutorial, but I'm going to go ahead and skip that, get started, and show you exactly what I do when I start. Now, the most important thing to starting a character is what you set your bars up as first. Now, remember that my previous guides I've talked to you about, playing as a DPS, damage dealer, damage, just blowing through content. Remember that Templar specifically, like Nightblade, even Dragonite to some extent. The main damage ability that you have heals you. The more damage you do, the more healing you get. So if you're doing damage and healing at the same time, you don't have to stop and heal. It's just the Templar is so easy for that. So the very first thing you're going to do is you're just going to max out your primary stat. Keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple. Max out magic if you're playing a magic-based dealer. And when I'm saying playing a magic character, your skills literally say what they scale off, what they use. So that's what you're going to do. Don't mess with health. Don't mess with stamina. You want to play a tank at the end game, fine, change it. But just stick to magic. You use weapons, stick to stamina. Trust me, it works. Now, what people don't understand, what people just constantly question me on, they don't understand, you gotta have one of each skill on your bar. So obviously we got 3 skill points, right? So very first thing, puncturing sweeps. Now I'm gonna assign this to left bumper just so I have it what I usually play with. Sunfire, we're gonna put that there. And then restoring light, good old breath of life. And Templars get like their best abilities to start. That's another reason they're so easy. So why am I doing that? Well, basically it's the passives. You want to hit 50 once you reach endgame, so you don't have, you're not limited with your passives. And passives are what makes the character really powerful. It's not active skills so much. You're going to use, you know, the same 3, 4, 5, 10 of them the entire game. It's the passives that make you really powerful. Don't believe me? Okay, well let's look at balance. Burning Light here. Adric Spirit ability. Hit, you get extra damage for free. Massive. Dawn's Wrath. Come down here. Look at this one. Reduce magic cost, stamina, and ultimate cost. Now you can sack that twice. And so people will hit end game and I'll help them with their builds and we'll do some training and you know they don't have their passes. passives. So to ensure that throughout the entire leveling process, have one of each skill line on your bar. So what I will use this guy for probably is mainly, I like no CP PvP, I like doing dungeons and stuff. So if I want to play healer, you can use a resto staff. If you want to play DPS, you can use a destruction staff. So you have 2 slots on your bar, right? What you should do is put one of each weapon type that you're going to use. So for us, we're going to use a destruction staff primarily, and I'll probably do resto or a sword and shield. So we're doing that also. Even if I'm not using a resto staff, I'm going to have a resto staff ability in my bar. I got tons of questions on this. Why do I do that? Because your skill lines level with the skill on your bar. Doesn't matter if it's equipped or not. Now you can get a bonus with that, but it's really advantageous. So once you get a second bar slot, you hit end game, boom, you're at 50, you got your max passives, you're good to go, instead of going grinding again and getting some more skill points and doing this. So what I like to do seems weird, but trust me, it's effective. It's effective in the long run. So I put instruction staff, and then a sword and dwarf, I'm just going to do PvP or resto staff. Seems weird, right? Okay, another thing is, what are you doing as far as your character? Well, we're going to play a magic-based damage dealer. Do as much damage as we can. Endgame, most magic builds run 5 light armor, 1 medium, 1 heavy. And the reason they do that is so you can get this Undaunted passive here. Where is it? Oh, I don't even have it unlocked in my skill bar. But you get this Undaunted passive, which gives you more max stats based on how many armor types you wear. So if you have 1 medium, 1 heavy in there, you get a big, massive magic pool. So why is that important? Well, when you're leveling, still do 5, 1, 1. You're not going to see any value of it right away. But when you reach endgame, all of your skill lines will be maxed out. So if you do want to play a tank, you want to play a healer, you want to play, some hybrid thing in PvP with heavy armor, guess what? All your skill lines are maxed out. You want to switch to stam? Medium armor's done. And then there's actually some useful passives in heavy and medium armor that I still take even though I'm wearing one piece of it. So the 3 skills on your bar, the 5-1-1 setup as we start collecting some gear, really going to pay off long run. Other thing people don't do, but you can, and you get a free ability to start. Every single player does, and it's called Soul Trap. It's really good sustain. There's a morph I think that can heal you as well, so it's not a bad ability to pick up right away. And then if you skip the starter stuff, you should have a little urn in here. Now I don't know why it comes with a bow and a medium thing, but that's what it comes with. So now there's a one-hand, you don't really have much options, so what the hell, let's equip a bow. Yay, we have a bow. And then we have 1 medium armor piece, and that's all I have. Now typically, I have another character where I do a billion different things and set myself up with crafting and all that sort of stuff, but I'm going to show you the other way, and that's just starting off on your own. What the hell do you do? So, warning to you is, like, when I played this game for the first time, I did every single quest in the game. Every single one of them. And I recommend doing that, just taking your time leveling the very first time, because it's fun. It's really good. It's a really good game. And questing is not your friend in terms of super fast leveling. If you want to just quest to get the experience, to get armor and stuff like that, I get that. But if you're talking about super fast leveling, it's counterproductive. Grinding, just killing mobs over and over and over. And I got a million different grind videos, and I'll link those in descriptions if you want to do that. And that's what part 2 is going to focus on. But there's a second way you can do this, okay? And that's what's called, what Pink Floyd wrote on my website, called the Efficient Leveling Guide. It's fun. It has a mix of both questing and open world and dinking around, a little bit of grinding, and it just keeps things fresh, keeps things interesting, and keeps things moving. So, if you don't know, every faction in the game has a main quest. The faction does. So there's a main quest skill line, which is basically at each 5 levels you get to access this quest, and that's a really good quest XP ratio. So spending time doing that is going to reward you pretty good gains with XP. It's also going to reward you with much needed skill points, so it's worth doing as those come up. Each faction has their own, so Daggerfall, Aldemary Dominion, Ebonheart Pact, and the starter towns the main thing here, like Daggerfall, not this little island, but the main thing, Daggerfall, will have that first quest, and it's a chain. So once you get done with it, usually there's another quest giver. While those are good, is because they reward you with decent experience, but also skill points. So skill points are super, super important because, once again, passives. Getting those active skills, that's really good, but getting those passives, and that's when you start feeling you're powerful, is when you get all your passives up, you get your skill bars, and you're ready to go, and you start to practice getting better at the game, which is using your skills in combination. So what we're going to do is 2 main quest lines, and that's pretty much it. We're going to do the main story, and then we're going to do the main faction story as we go. So we're going to get tons of skill points. We're going to get good XP. We're going to learn about the game. It's going to be fun. While you're doing this faction story quest, and you can find the quest on unofficial Elder Scrolls page, has a really good layout of the actual quest, the giver, the name of it, how to complete it. So go to that website if you don't know what I'm talking about. For faction, you can't pick it up. There's going to be dolmens. So there's going to be big, huge anchors out the ground. Those are fun. Those give us fire skill. They give us gear, and is a decent XP boost. It's useful to do those once per zone. So when you see something in the zone, if you haven't done it, it's going to be black, right? So if we go here, or we don't do that. So you see, I've discovered the stock, so it's white. This is the main quest line, the port hub, so it's black. Once I've completed all the quests associated with that, turns white. Sounds simple, right? The reason I'm telling you this is, once you've done that dolmen once, it no longer becomes that advantageous XP-wise to continue to do it. So as you're exploring, as you're questing, you're going to do those dolmens. It's going to be fun. Do it once, and then kind of move on. There's also world bosses. So there's going to be an icon you see that has like a crazy little skull on it. Same thing. Those things are good XP, really good to do once. Decent loot, and some of them are pretty challenging to do, so I'll see if I can't beat one with basically no gear, no CP, just kind of see if I can't muscle through it on my Templar, because that's the class I'm good at. Okay, so we're going to do dolmens, we're going to do world bosses, we're going to do main story, and we're going to do our faction story. You can explore and do some other things, and with exploring comes delves. Delves, along with public dungeons, are things we've all experienced in other Elder Scrolls game. Go in a little cave, you go kill a monster at the end, and happy. So something about this game in particular is there's one monster in the back of the delve. One. You'll see a little bunch of other little monsters running around, but one monster in particular you kill once, you get the achievement, you get the big XP reward for doing it. And some of it has really good gear too. So those delves are also things we're going to do on our exploration list. So this is not the fastest way to level, but it's really slow, it's steady, and when you get to end game, you're not going to have to go Skyshard hunt for 8-10 hours. You're not going to have to go, do Mage's Guild and all that sort of stuff, because you've taken the time to do it, and it's a lot more fun. Now, personally, I do this professionally, so when I level, I sit down, I bang it out, and, it's not fun. But, I'll sit and ride my bike and just level characters, and that's what I do. So this is the fun way, and it's a powerful way, and it gets you used to the game. So let's go kill stuff and talk about it. Since I have no gold support, I'm just going to do the introduction quest here. Hey, another Argonian. And, usually they're going to give you a piece of gear. They're going to give you, something to... Oh, look. Armor. Steel. Uh-oh. Shield. I get a sword. And, yeah, steel, loot, everything. Loot, 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 loot. So, if you're starting off fresh, you're going to need all this provisioning stuff, all this ginger, all this, random crap you're going to be picking up. Loot it. Just like Skyrim or previous games, it's hard to skip past some of this stuff because you're just like, oh, I want to loot it. Once you get 1 billion of them, okay, you can stop doing that, but at the start, it's really helpful to do that. Alright, so we completed our first quest, so look what we get. A little attribute point, we got a skill point. So, main priority, once again, once you get those first skill points rolling in, is to morph this thing. So, we don't have it, it's not available to morph yet, we're not going to spend the skill point. Because it's going to give us a lot more healing. So, same thing with the Magic Nightblade, if you're playing that. funnel health or swallow soul. That Morphus makes a huge difference in your survivability early on. Crystal frags for the Sork, Dragonite burning embers. So usually you want to find that main spammable ability or something that can heal you really well and save your skill point just for that. So if we're not quite there yet, we're just going to go kill some more stuff and figure it out. So moving on to the main town here, Daggerfall and Glenumbra. And you want to do 3 things. Number 1, you want to get that main quest story. That's from the main guy that will spawn once you're level 5. Number 2, pick up all your guild stuff. So that's going to include Undaunted here. They're going to give you a little lecture. You're going to go to Mages Guild and Fighters Guild, and you can see them on your map. It'll just be clear as day, and usually they're parked right by each other. That's going to unlock the skill line, and it's going to start building experience. Mages Guild, Undaunted is retroactive. Fighters Guild's not. So if you don't pick those up right away, especially Fighters Guild, you're kind of, screwing yourself. And some of those are really useful for us. So I'm going to go here. And then it gives you a little bit of experience. You don't have to go do the quest, though. They are pretty good. But just to unlock the skill line. So you're just going to say, hey, what's up, dude? I want to join. I'm super pumped to join the Fighters Guild. Yes. So you go in here now. And we should have a guild section, see? So really simple stuff, but I've leveled a character clear on down to 15 or so, and I wasn't getting Fighters Guild experience. So don't follow the same mistakes that I've made, because believe me, I've done it. And the last thing you want to do is get some training gear as you can afford it. So you can see here that I still need to do a couple more quests in order to get to gold. But once you go to the Mages Guild, they're going to have jewelry pieces that you can use. See, Max Magic, 300 gold right there. They're going to have staffs that you can get. So Inferno for fire damage, you can equip right away. And you can increase your experience gained. Basically, just do a couple of quests in order to get that. And then we can move on to some of the harder stuff. Alright, so we got a basic loadout now for gear. So this has some training stuff. So we have a fire staff, and we already had sword and boards at 5, so I purchased a skill for that already so I can level that skill line in case I want to do PvP. I went with the 5-1-1 setup. So after you get your weapons decided, whether you go to Mages Guild or Fighters Guild, then there's each area, each zone has something like this, a little hall. So weaponsmith, you're going to have a tailor if you want to wear light armor. You got a person over here for armor for heavy, and then leather over there if you're trying to do medium or stand-based build. So either way, you're going to want 5 of your main 1 and 1. I'm telling you, it's worth doing leveling up. So that took about 5,000 gold. It didn't take me very long to do it. So really, that's going to give you a huge, tremendous start. Now, obviously, your gear is going to suck. That's why it does no trait, nothing on it. But you can level the skill lines so that you can start getting the passives. So what you're going to focus on from here on out is passives, skill lines, and those 4 things I talked about. Dolmens, world bosses and delves, then doing the main story, and then also like the faction story. You start getting skill points in. Where do you put them? Your main skill lines are obviously no-brainers. There's going to be some that are really important, but priority number 1, and usually what I go for first, is always recover and reduce costs. If I'm magic build, it's light. Stand build, it's medium. But you're going to go for magic recovery, reduce costs. That makes the biggest impact in surviving, is being able to cast stuff. And anything in your class-specific skill lines that can help you out with damage or resource management. So if we go here, and then it's nothing really here, but down at the end, reduce magic and stamina and ultimate costs. So right there, that's something the Templar has for resource management. Your race passive is really, really important. So for here, I got max magic and really just a sustain base passive. You can play any race any way you want, but really you want to pick one that based on what you like doing. Magic, stamina, so on. Play a damage dealer. Trust me, it goes a lot faster. And so from here on out, I'm going to take some time to level this guy up slowly and enjoy it. So hopefully this helps you, give you some insight. And really, that's pretty much all I do, is do those few things, work on my skill lines and passives, getting better gear and so forth. And then you can do some of the advanced stuff. Start working on your crafting, start working on your dungeons and getting your achievements unlocked and leveling your Undaunted. Get your weapon swap at 15. You can set Cyrodiil at level 10. There's just so many things I wanted to tell you, but really this is the basics. If you like this video, you want me to do more stuff and kind of catalog my guy leveling, I'll be happy to do that. Please leave me some comments and some feedbacks, thumb up, thumb down, if you like this or not. Obviously this is not for veteran players that have been doing this for a long time, but I feel there's like a lot of influx of new players that just really have no clue on how to start this game. And it took me a long time of just starting characters over and over to make it efficient and effective. So hopefully this helps you. Part 2 is going to be for those people that know what they're doing and want to get to end game as fast as possible. So I'm going to show you how to do it in about 2 to 3 hours possible. Most people probably take 4 to 5. And that's going from level 3 to 50 in 4 to 5 hours. Yeah, it's not fun, it's not easy, but it can be done. So stay tuned for part 2 next. Let me know if you like this, and as always, thanks so much for watching, gang. I hope this helps some of you guys.